So you're considering traveling to the Balkans and wondering if it is a good holiday destination? Well, you've come to the right channel, as I will share the answers to the 10 questions about traveling to the Balkans for first-time travelers to the region. But first, where are the Balkans? The Balkan is a peninsula in southeast Europe bounded by the Adriatic Sea to the west, the Mediterranean Sea to the south, and the Black Sea to the east. When you're traveling to the Balkans, you're traveling to the following countries: Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Kosovo, and Serbia, which used to be part of Yugoslavia. There are also Albania, Bulgaria, Romania, Greece, and the European side of Turkey. I recently traveled with a tour group from Milan, Italy, to Istanbul, Turkey, that passes through some parts of the Balkans. So I will base my answers to the following questions on my personal experience and stock responses from ChatGPT. Also worth noting is that I traveled in March, when it's not quite winter, but it's not quite yet springtime. The average daytime temperature is in the low teens in degrees Celsius, and the sun sets at around 5:30 to 6 o'clock p.m. I am also from Malaysia, so my viewpoints, especially regarding visas and passports, may not be universal in their application to you personally. Also, I don't claim to be an expert on the region, and my travels did not cover all Balkan countries. However, my input may be beneficial to first-time travelers to the region. Still, nothing beats researching the individual countries, as subtle cultural and cuisine differences may impact your enjoyment and safety of travel there. So, let's start. Question 1. Is it safe to travel to the Balkans? In general, it is quite safe. I did not see anything like protests, riots or war that may derail your holiday. However, all of the Balkans are in the earthquake zone, and the last major earthquake occurred in 1963 in Skopje, the capital of North Macedonia. The earthquake killed over 1,000 people, injured more than 4,000 and destroyed 80% of the city. To avoid being pickpocketed, you must take the normal precaution of placing your backpack before you when walking in busy areas. Gypsies will approach you, but the best cause of action is to put your head down and ignore them. Question 2. What are the must-visit destinations in the Balkans? It depends on whether you like history, nature, or outdoor activities. For nature, don't miss the Plitvice National Park in Croatia, especially the lakes and waterfalls. Another great site is Lake Ohrid in North Macedonia, the deepest lake in Europe. For history, you have to go to Sarajevo, where World War I started, and, most recently, the epicenter of the Bosnian War from 1992 to 1995, where you will still see signs reminding people of the war, such as the Tunnel of Hope. If you're a skiing enthusiast, there are plenty of ski resorts in Slovenia and Bosnia. If you love the sea, make sure Dubrovnik in Croatia is one of your stops. For history, visit any of the capital cities, such as Zagreb, Sarajevo, Sofia, and Skopje, the birthplace of Mother Teresa, and go on a guided tour of the city. There are many more gems to list here, so do your research well. Question 3. What is the best time to travel to the Balkans? I traveled in March, one of the best times to travel to the Balkans, as there are fewer crowds. Weather-wise, it was still snowing in the higher places in Slovenia, Croatia, and Bosnia. However, the temperature usually rises when the sun comes out after a misty and cold start in the morning. Autumn would also be a good time to be in the Balkans, as the leaves turn color, and the weather gets progressively cooler after the hot summer. Question 4. Do I need a visa to travel to the Balkans? As a Malaysian, I can pass through all the hard borders between countries without a visa. Depending on where you enter, you're most likely unable to avoid going through the hard border between EU and non-EU countries. So do check on visa requirements with your travel agent. Question 5. What is the best way to travel around the Balkans? An organized tour is one of the best ways to travel in the Balkans, especially for first-timers. You don't have to concern yourself with the travel logistics of hotels, transportation, and food. Just follow the advice or recommendations of your local travel guide, and your only concern is about how much time do I have to see and do at any particular destination. Taking a bus or train is better if you're a free and easy traveler or on a budget. Question 6. What is the local currency in the Balkans, and can I use my credit card? The Balkans region includes several countries, each with its own local currency. Except for Greece, Kosovo, Montenegro, and Croatia, which uses the euro, the other countries use their own local currencies. Euro is generally accepted for payment, but you will get change in the local currency. Carrying some local currency with you is always a good idea, especially if you plan to visit more rural or remote areas. Additionally, some establishments may only accept cash payments, so it's best to be prepared. As for using your credit card, it depends on the country and the establishment you are visiting. Credit cards are generally widely accepted in major cities and tourist areas. Question 7. What is the cuisine like in the Balkans? The cuisine in the Balkans is quite diverse and varies from country to country, but there are some commonalities throughout the region. The food is generally hearty, filling, and flavorful, with lots of grilled meats, vegetables, stews, and soups. Here are some examples of typical dishes from different Balkan countries that I have sampled: Croatia pastakada, beef stew, pljeskavica, grilled meat patty, Bosnia and Herzegovina burek, meat or cheese-filled pastry, klip, dumplings filled with beef or cheese, dolma, stuffed grape leaves, Bulgaria banica, cheese and egg-filled pastry, kebabche, grilled minced meat, tarator, cold cucumber soup. The Balkans also have a strong tradition of sweet pastries and desserts, such as baklava, kadayif, and tulumba. Overall, the cuisine in the Balkans is rich, varied, and delicious, with a strong emphasis on local ingredients and traditional cooking methods. By the way, the people here like their food extra salty. And do try the Bosnian coffee. Question 8. What are the cultural norms and customs I should be aware of in the Balkans? The Balkans is a diverse region with many different cultural norms and customs, but there are some general things to remember when traveling there. Here are some examples. Greetings when meeting someone for the first time. It's customary to shake hands and say zdravo or dobar dan, hello, in most Balkan countries. Dress codes vary depending on the occasion and the country, but generally, dressing conservatively is recommended. Covering your shoulders and knees is usually expected when visiting religious sites, and wearing swimwear outside the beach is inappropriate. Religion plays an important role in many Balkan countries, and respecting religious customs and practices is important. For example, removing your shoes before entering a mosque or church is common, and women may be expected to cover their heads and/or wear long skirts or pants. Hospitality is highly valued in the Balkans, and it's common for people to offer food and drink to guests. It's considered polite to accept these offers and to express gratitude. While many speak English in the Balkans, learning a few basic phrases in the local language is always appreciated, like dobro jutro or good morning in Bosnian. This can go a long way in establishing rapport with locals and showing respect for their culture. Tipping is generally expected in the Balkans, and the amount can vary depending on the country and the service. In most places, a 10 to 15% tip is considered appropriate for restaurants, taxis, and other services. Overall, the Balkans are a welcoming and hospitable region, and visitors are generally well received. By respecting local customs and traditions, you can have a more enjoyable and enriching experience while traveling in this part of the world. Question 9. What is the weather like in the Balkans, and what should I pack? The weather in the Balkans varies depending on the time of year and the specific country you're visiting. The region generally experiences a moderate continental climate, with warm summers and cold winters. Here's a breakdown of the weather in different seasons. Summers in the Balkans, June to August, are generally warm and sunny, with temperatures ranging from 25 to 35 Celsius, 77 to 95 Fahrenheit, in most countries. However, some areas have higher temperatures, particularly along the coast. Pack light, breathable clothing such as t-shirts, shorts, and dresses, sunscreen, and a hat. In some areas, especially in the mountains, evenings can be cooler, so it's also a good idea to bring a light jacket or sweater. Autumn, September to November, in the Balkans is generally mild, with cooler temperatures and occasional rain. Temperatures can range from 10 to 25 Celsius, 50 to 77 Fahrenheit, depending on the country and the region. Bring layers, including a light jacket or sweater, and waterproof shoes. Winters in the Balkans, December to February, can be quite cold, with temperatures ranging from -5 to 10 Celsius, 23 to 50 Fahrenheit, in most countries. In some mountainous areas, temperatures can drop even lower. Pack warm clothing, including a coat, hat, gloves, and boots. Spring, March to May, in the Balkans can be unpredictable, with occasional rain and fluctuating temperatures. Temperatures can range from 10 to 20 Celsius, 50 to 68 Fahrenheit, in most countries. Pack layers, including a light jacket or sweater and waterproof shoes. It's always a good idea to check the weather forecast for your specific destination before packing. Additionally, remember that some regions of the Balkans may have more extreme weather conditions than others, so be sure to research your itinerary and pack accordingly. And finally, question 10. How much time should I allocate to traveling in the Balkans? The amount of time you should allocate for traveling in the Balkans depends on various factors, including your interests, budget, and the specific countries and regions you want to visit. However, as a general rule of thumb, I recommend allocating at least 2 to 3 weeks to fully explore the Balkans and get a sense of its culture, history, and natural beauty. If you're short on time, you could focus on 1 or 2 countries and spend 7 to 10 days in each, exploring the main cities, landmarks, and attractions. For example, you could spend a week in Croatia, visiting Dubrovnik, Split, and the Plitvice Lakes National Park, or 10 days in Montenegro, exploring Kotor, Budva, and the Durmitor National Park. If you have more time, you could opt for a more comprehensive itinerary that covers several countries and regions. For example, you could spend 2 to 3 weeks traveling from Slovenia to Albania, stopping at destinations like Ljubljana, Lake Bled, Zagreb, Sarajevo, Mostar, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Tirana, and Berat. Ultimately, the amount of time you allocate for traveling in the Balkans will depend on your personal preferences and interests. You should allocate more time if you enjoy exploring off-the-beaten-path destinations and taking things slow. On the other hand, if you're more interested in the highlights, like I did, and don't mind a fast-paced itinerary, you could allocate less time. So there you have it. The 10 questions about traveling to the Balkans for first-time travelers. If you want to see some of the places I have visited in the Balkans, subscribe to my channel, The Green Weekend Warrior, and hit the like button, as it would definitely help. Enjoy your Balkan adventure.